How Marion Works, a podcast series dedicated to informing you of the inner workings in all areas of Marion government and public services. Thank you for listening. Hello, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 1. And this is How Marion Works, and we're doing our first episode. It is the kickoff with city development. I am your host, Layla Price-Bodkin. I just want to let you know of the purpose of this podcast. Our vision statement is How Marion Works podcast is to keep the citizens of Marion and surrounding areas updated and exposed to all of the moving parts of the city. With hundreds of employees, a near population of 30,000 people, Marion is a city that is on the move and constantly evolving. And we appreciate you for being a part of this podcast that shows the greatness of how Marion works. Okay, let's get into it. All right, this is the kickoff with city development, and I'm Layla Price-Bodkin. I want to let you know that this podcast will be released every other Monday at 5 a.m. on all major platforms. Okay, I am sitting here with my guest, my very special guest today. She is also from the City Development Department. Her name is Deana Vice, the Neighborhood Association Coordinator. Welcome, Deana.
Thank you, Layla.
Thank you for joining me today on this kickoff episode. And I want us to start with an icebreaker so we can kind of get in the groove of being on this podcast and just have some fun.
That sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay, we are going to do because you and I discussed this the other day and we're like, how can we narrow this down, right?
It's so hard.
So what are your top three favorite movies of all time?
This was a really tough one for me because I love movies, but
right.
I managed to narrow it down to three. So
okay, I'm excited to hear this.
I would have to say Goonies.
Oh, good one.
Goonies,
love
for sure.
that. You can watch that over and over again.
I'm telling you, it's timeless.
Josh Brolin.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah.
All of them. I mean, you can name them all, but yes. And that one's from the 80s. I'll note that.
Right. Young Frankenstein.
Yes. Oh, Gene Wilder. You and I were talking about that the other day.
Yes.
I don't even know what brought that up.
I have no idea.
But it is definitely just a silly movie.
It is. It's just a feel-good kind of movie.
You know what? That one is also from the 80s. Okay.
Wow.
What's your third one?
Third one would be any of the Medea movies.
Medea movies.
Any of them.
Name one.
Oh my goodness. Either Boo 1, Boo 2, or the Medea Witness Protection, or Medea Christmas.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I have not ever heard of those.
Big Happy Family. That's a good one too.
Oh my goodness. I wrote a song called One Big Happy Family, so I definitely need to watch that one.
Oh my gosh, you will laugh.
So they are comedies.
They are,
all of
definitely.
Them.
They are Tyler Perry.
Do you recall what era they are from? Or do they continue today?
They continue.
And they are films?
They are. They are films.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Well, you have done a great job of narrowing those down.
Thank you.
I guess I'll get into mine. They've been steadfast for a very long time because all three of them are from the 80s. So my very top favorite movie is The Burbs with Tom Hanks, Corey Feldman.
Yes.
And yeah, so that one is it's hilarious. Just about this family in the cul-de-sac that thinks that the neighbors are murdering people
yes.
They go on this mission.
Love that movie.
That one is a staple. I have that on DVD still. My second favorite is Spaceballs. So that one's also
Comb the Desert.
The parody of Star Wars. So yeah, Comb the Desert. And then my third favorite is Back to the Future for sure.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Michael J. Fox.
I remember starting to watch all three of those, I think when I was around 5 years old.
Right.
And it's so crazy how they continue to be my favorite. And I watched Back to the Future just the other day. And it was like, wow, what an awesome plot. What an awesome film in general. So
classics are a classic for a reason, right?
Yeah. Okay, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Are you warmed up? Did you get stretched out and warmed up?
I think so.
Okay, we are here to talk about city development. That is the purpose of this first podcast episode. And I just first want to ask you, Deana, about your life and how basically we can start where you're born and raised and just kind of go from there, like your journey as a person.
Sure. So I was born in South Texas and moved here at the age of 10 with my family. My father, the late Deacon Domingo Castillo, we actually moved here because of his work. So he's a deacon for the Diocese of Lafayette.
Wow.
And served 32 counties and did amazing work.
I didn't realize he was a deacon. I remember you telling me a lot about your dad, but that's awesome that you were able. I'm so glad you mentioned him. Such a special influence in your life.
Oh, he's a huge part of why I am who I am today.
And that continues. That's so important.
Absolutely.
So tell me more about your journey here to Indiana.
Oh my goodness. It was very interesting because coming from Southern climate, that was a huge, like we had never seen snow before, Layla. We had never seen snow. So, you come from Christmas Eves where you're barbecuing to snowstorms and ice storms.
That must have been quite
it was
an adjustment.
It was an adjustment, but it was one that I feel, looking back, we made, like we did an amazing job at it. Like, not to toot our own horn, thanks to the support of our parents.
Yes.
In their love and their guidance and, the Lord's love, we did it. And we were supposed to be here a year and then move on, and Dad fell in love with the work and we ended up staying. We all fell in love with Marion.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing how that God planted you here, and
right?
For the long term. And I know that now that we've been working together for almost a year now, I'm understanding that how special, like it was like you were meant to be in your role, and meant to be doing great things for the city of Marion in many ways. So we will definitely get into that, but you really are in a special position with the city. Let's see, where do we want to go from there? So your level of education, and then basically how you began, basically some background jobs that kind of led you to work for the city.
Sure. So I'm a Marion High School graduate. I have a background in management, retail management, and heavy in customer service.
That's very important with
this
job now.
You are so right. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about moving at and producing at a fast pace.
Yes.
As well as managing large groups of people, organizing. I mean, I learned countless. I had countless lessons that I still use to this day.
And I remember you saying that your most precious position before you started working for the city was working at Design Studio 407.
Absolutely. Design Studio 407 will always have a huge special place in my heart. I started that job at a time in my life when I needed it as much as it needed me. And
that's how I met you, and we definitely started having some great conversations and learning about each other just as friends.
Yes, and that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, how God's always working behind the scenes and setting people up, and I really don't believe in happenstance. So when people cross your path, it's usually for a reason.
I think that's a perfect segue to talk about what you do now as the Neighborhood Association Coordinator. You have really met some special people that you've really connected with, And I don't know if you brought that list of people that you're working with now that are all the neighborhood presidents for all the neighborhood associations.
I did.
I don't know if you want to go ahead and give them a shout out. Let's do that now because we can get into what that entails in a minute. But let's just call out those special people.
I would absolutely love to do that. These people they've been amazing. They've been amazing in welcoming me, and it has been such a breath of fresh air to see people who are so just in love with their community and ready to serve and ready to give of their time and of themselves for the betterment of their neighborhood, the betterment of their community, and I've got to shout them out really quick.
Okay, let's do it.
So, Center City, our president is Risa Black, Corey Triangle, Ruth Ann, and I'm not going to, if you know, you have to.
If you know Ruth Ann, she doesn't want you to mention her last name.
Right, if you know, then you know. So, Ruth Ann is just Ruth Ann.
She's like Cher.
Exactly. Quarry Triangle. Well, actually, sorry, that was Ruth Ann. Bend of the River. That would be Mary Lynn Nordstrom.
She's so awesome.
She is amazing. The Andrew Manor president is Sue Burnsworth.
Yes.
Euclid president, Michelle Doyle.
Yes.
The Marion High School / Francis Slocum. The current leader is Robert Casey.
And this is something that's just getting started up again, it merged.
That's right. It has merged, and Robert Casey II is the current leader, though he has not been officially voted in as president quite yet. Once this spring, once we start holding meetings with them, we will do that.
There will be a democratic process.
Absolutely.
Within those neighbors.
You got it. Garfield president is Jan Bowen. Harry Kramer, and I feel like Gus and Tammy are kind of
like co-leaders.
Co-leaders.
Definitely.
I have to shout out both Gus Smart and Tammy Filburn.
Yes, we've gotten to work with them quite a bit because they are doers. They're go-getters.
They're amazing.
And we just opened the Harry Kramer Green Space that we definitely want to shout out there because that is a project that they were heavily involved in, and now they have this beautiful green space in an otherwise underserved area.
Absolutely.
So I know they're super happy with that. And if you have not had a chance to see that green space, it is at 21st and Brownlee.
That's right, 21st and Brownlee. It is beautiful. Please check it out. Historic Marion would be Mary Eckerly.
That's right, downtown.
That's right. The Hope, Helping Open People's Eyes / South Marion Association president is Sharon Carson. Mm-hmm. Sunnycrest Wesleya president is Dwayne Church.
Yeah, we've worked with him a lot too.
Oh, Dwayne is amazing. He does countless things.
You were telling me about him literally going door to door.
He does.
He uses his bicycle.
Right.
I don't know if he's doing that right now, but more power to him.
That's right.
But he definitely is dedicated.
He's heavily involved in the Cardinal Greenway as well. The West Marion Homeowners Watch president is Michelle Wagner. The West Point West Side president, it was Judy Carmichael, and I have to shout her out because she did it for so many years.
Yes,
she
right.
She just recently retired as president, and G.J. Kilgren has been voted in.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect.
The Maplewood president is Sherry Rush Turner. Mm-hmm. Northeast Association, which is brand new.
Yes.
Yay. President Rita Perkins.
All right. They just had a meeting and they're getting off the ground. And so if you live in that area, which we can refer to our website, cityofmarion.in.gov. And if you go to the government page and go to city development, you're going to find the maps, which will show you where each of these neighborhood associations are. And if you live in them and you want to get more involved, definitely reach out to those presidents. And if they are not active yet, you can reach out to Deana, and her information is on that website. And we'll get to that. We'll touch on that before we end our podcast.
And last but not least, the Soapbox Derby president is April Evans.
Nice. And that is a new one, too.
It is. That's also in its infancy and should be having its first meeting here this spring.
Excellent. So I just want to give you a shout out. First of all of these neighborhood leaders are so dedicated, and it just takes so much courage and that commitment to be a neighborhood president. But just it's wonderful that they are so dedicated, and we wanted to shout them out. But I just want to shout you out for all of the work that you did last year, because we started with 13 active associations, and now we are at 16 active neighborhood associations.
That's
great
right.
job. Applause.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
Thank you.
You can breathe a sigh of relief as we get into 2025. We had such a great year in 2024. I would love for you to just explain what a neighborhood association is.
Your neighborhood association, basically, it gives you a link. It gives you a link to your city officials. It gives you a link to the city departments. And when you have a concern, possibly, you can voice it at your neighborhood association meeting, and we can tell you in which direction to go to have your problem resolved. That is one of the reasons.
So it's definitely nothing like a homeowners association.
It is not a homeowners association, so there's no monies involved, dues of any sort. Now, I will say some associations, they do take up a collection, but that is for their own use. So it's for the use of your neighborhood association. And for instance, they will throw like a yearly block party or something of that nature.
So they kind of have that autonomy, if you will.
Absolutely.
They can have cleanups of their own. They can have rummage sales. They can do really whatever they want.
They can.
They can work with the city. It's just them feeling connected and having just a regular point of connection and information from city officials.
Absolutely.
If these neighborhood associations, which most of them do, have regular meetings, those city officials will come one by one. There will be special speakers.
Right.
If they want it, they
Right.
don't have to have it. But if they're like, oh, I want to learn more about the streets and how that operates, and,
Sure.
and so Mike Graft with engineering can go talk to them.
Sure. Most of them do have a monthly guest speaker. And like you were just saying, it could be Mike Graft, or it could be
Randy Hyatt.
Yeah, he's really
citywide
great.
maintenance.
Sure.
He's a popular one because there's always a lot of questions about the pickup of disposal and citywide
Sure.
cleanup related things. Which
Sure. Our city council members also
Yes.
do frequent these meetings. These meetings, they keep you in the know, Layla. They really do, because I roll at the monthly presidents meetings. I roll out city information to all of our presidents. And then they take that information and they roll it out at their neighborhood meetings. So you are getting all of the information and everything that's going on currently with the city. You get the info firsthand.
How Marion Works is sponsored by the City of Marion. This podcast covers the inner workings of city government to better serve you. Well, since we kind of got into some citywide cleanup talk, so this is something that you and I work on together as part of a larger team, and the neighborhood leaders are heavily involved in this as well. And the citywide cleanup term is kind of a new term because Mayor Morrell, he introduced this idea, which was really wonderful. I mean, it really made an impact last year. And could you get that flyer out? Because we have a total impact that I want to make sure I get those numbers right.
Right. It was, I know it was a total of, I believe, 60 dumpsters.
Yeah, 60
that were filled.
40-yard dumpsters were filled with trash.
Yeah.
You name it. Everybody came lining in, and our main location was the central location is the citywide maintenance area, and that's at 520 East 6th Street. And it will continue to be that. But last year we had a total of...
We had 4. So we had 4 cleanups, 60 40-yard dumpsters filled, 905 drop-offs.
Wow.
Now, that was amazing, but get ready for 2025.
Yeah.
Because we are going to top that. We now have 6 cleanups coming up that are going to start in April and run through September.
Yeah, so
Dates
one each
to be
month.
announced.
Yeah, we will announce dates, but
Yep, it
6
will
as
be-
opposed to 4, that's going to be
Yeah.
even larger impact, and people are already seeing the visual impact.
They will be on a Saturday, so it will be a Saturday, and it'll be set up the same as last year.
They go from 9 to 2.
9 to 2. The city will be divided up in a quadrant system, so a boundary. The boundary will be posted and released before the cleanup. If you live in that boundary, then you have access to curbside pickup. If you do not live in that boundary, you can fill up your pickup trucks, fill up, whatever you got, your trailers.
That's right.
And bring your stuff down to the street department on 6th Street. So, everyone is going to be served.
Exactly. Everyone is always served, no matter what, each cleanup. And it's you're always going to have your turn to have your own curbside pickup
Right.
in one of these cleanups for this year. So, and if you want to find out more information about it, you can reach out to us under our Department of City Development. And I can go ahead and give that plug because Deana Vice, she can be reached at dvice@cityofmarion.in.gov. And I can be reached at lprice@cityofmarion.in.gov. Or you can call City Hall, 765-662-9931. And Esther, sweet Esther, will direct you to us if you would prefer to chat on the phone. So yeah, the citywide cleanups are a big event that I would say it's really more of a community development effort that is under the City of Marion and this administration under the mayor. And the other one that we work heavily on, I want to make sure that before we move on, there was one more thing about the citywide cleanups, and it had to do with disposal of items. And I just wanted to bring it up because it's kind of a hot question that we get, like, okay, what do you take? What do you not take? So some major things that we don't take at the drop-off location, those are TVs,
Tires.
and tires, no yard waste at these citywide cleanups,
debris.
no construction debris, no batteries. So I think that covers that.
Those are the main things.
Yeah. So, but there is a disposal guide that is all encompassing that can kind of give you, it's a guideline for that. And where can people find that?
They can find that on the Marion Utilities website.
Yes, marionutilities.com. There is a PDF that's on their website, and you can download it, you can print it. It's a disposal guide, and we also have them sitting out at our cleanups each time. So you're more than welcome to take one, or you can stop by City Hall and ask for one from our department.
And I'm telling you, all the information that we're giving you right now, including copies of these disposal guides, not only from Marion Utilities, but from Grant County Recycles, all that information, you would get that if you attend your neighborhood association meeting.
That's right. And you're going to see a lot of neighborhood leaders at these events. They show up, they help out in any way to answer questions. They're basically posted with us at the central location, and they mobilize. So if you want to get something done ahead of time, get something scheduled to clean up your neighborhood or an area that you think needs help, then that is when we encourage you to reach out to that neighborhood leader.
Absolutely. Come say hello, connect with them, introduce yourself.
And there's pizza.
And there's pizza. So yeah, look for that white tent.
Yeah, we break for lunch at noon. We get pizza delivered to the site. So whether you're a volunteer, whether you're just coming to say hi and learn more, you are welcome to have lunch and get to know us. And I just think it's a really great program. I'm looking forward to 2025.
So am I.
So we all work really well together with that. And the other one that we work heavily on is the traveling town halls. And this is something else that, Deana, this is kind of your baby as well. Like you have, you reach out to the potential locations where we have this traveling town hall, and I'll explain that it is government coming to you. You don't feel like you have to wait for a city council meeting and ask a question, because there's usually an agenda that doesn't really have anything to do with you. A town hall is a place where, a setting where you can ask questions directly to the mayor, and he has his entire team. We are all there, ready to help answer all questions and make sure that people feel comfortable. And they are co-hosted, so it's usually at a church or really any location that can have a sound system and have that welcoming space. And it is usually partnered with one or two neighborhood associations.
That's right. Yes. The traveling town halls. Wow. That I am so proud of the traveling town halls. I feel like the 2024 year and lineup for traveling town halls, they were all so incredibly successful. We had amazing participation and turnout from the community, as well as our department heads. I have to shout out to all of them for they showed up. They showed up. They answered every question. Layla, not one question went unanswered.
That's right.
Not
That's right.
one. How amazing is that, to be able to sit in the same room as your mayor and your city leaders and have your important questions answered on site.
That was another initiative of his.
Right.
So shout out to Mayor Morrell.
Absolutely.
For coming up with this cool, this new rhythm. It's towards the end of the year. So once we wrap up with citywide cleanups.
That's right.
We have traveling town halls, so we will have 3 of them this year.
We will. October, November, and December.
Yeah, so each of them will be at different locations throughout the city. They are always welcome to all. There will be a couple council people who represent that area, but really anyone and everyone that's interested in city government and their community is invited to attend. There's always refreshments.
Yes.
So it's a really good time, and it's capped at 1 hour. They vary on the times that they start, but it's usually capped at an hour, and we're out of there. So in time for dinner.
That's right.
So that's another one. So we're going to get into. So those are some things that basically cover your area, and some things that we work together on. And I want to make sure that folks know that with the groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings that we have, we're always working on those together. And then any other miscellaneous event that may come up, you just never know what may come up.
You don't know.
And last year we had the Mayor Wall project.
Right.
So an actual dedication of all the mayors throughout Marion history are now on the 2nd floor of City Hall, just outside the mayor's suite. And we had we threw a party for that.
Yeah.
We had great refreshments.
It's beautiful. It's really something to see. I urge everyone to come down to City Hall and have a look at that. I love it. I love it. It's just, I feel like it brightened up that whole area.
I do too. I think it's a beautiful piece of art. Really, it's an art installation, but it's actually a picture of every past mayor and the years that they served, and some of them served more than once.
Right.
And so it's good to go see. And Marion Design Co. partnered up with us on that, and they did a wonderful job. Okay, so I'm going to take like a little plug break here before I get into my introduction and my role with the city. I want you to follow us at City of Marion IN on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube, and we now have a TikTok channel. So So make sure that you follow us or subscribe to us on all of those platforms. You can listen to How Marion Works podcast through your favorite platform, and that includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, and many more platforms. And you can also, we just developed this website called howmarionworks.com, so you can also visit that website. Okay. Deana, you can take a drink of water because I'm about to talk a lot, and I want to kind of introduce myself and my background. You're probably glad you got yours over with, huh?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm kidding.
But it means a lot that you are here with me for moral support today, and I'm really excited about this podcast. I remember when I was a kid, me and my cousins, we would pretend that we had a radio show. I don't know if you've ever done that, but those old radios,
Yes.
you could have cassettes, and you can actually record yourself and play it back. And I still have a cassette that just cracks me up to this day of us just pretending to be our own radio station.
I was
8 years old.
I would play Office. Did you ever play Office
No.
when you were a little girl? Oh my gosh. I played
that's
Office.
so funny. And now look at you. You're actually doing it, and
Isn't
we're
that
playing
something?
Office right now. But I feel like we're at recess. So
Right?
we get to talk, and we get to
Yes.
just kind of really tout what we do, because we work very hard. And
Community development wears many hats.
yes,
You really do.
yes, we do. And even though, there's two of us full-time employees under city development, and I'm technically your supervisor, but sometimes you supervise me because you check in on me, you encourage me. You know, we get thrown some things sometimes, and we're like, what do we do? And there's only two of us, so
We're the dynamic duo, Layla.
That's right.
We got this.
Yes. We got this. That's right. I wanted to just, so I am originally from West Virginia. I was born and raised in West Virginia. And then I lived in Alabama for another 5 years, and I moved to Indiana when I was 10. So I've been a Hoosier, and I call myself a Hoosier. I went to Anderson High School. Sorry. I went to Anderson High School, and then I went off to Indiana University Bloomington, and that's where I started to study telecommunications, and I minored in music, so got a great education there. And go IU, go Hoosiers.
Yay.
And that kind of got me off with studying production. So I was thinking I was going to go into production in audio, because I was really excited about that. Well, it led me to a Kokomo radio station where they were like, oh no, you're not going to just do production, you're going to do news. So I had to be a news anchor.
Wow.
And I actually had to host my own radio show for WIOU, and that was called PM Primetime, and that was a lot of fun. I did that for a couple of years, and life happened. I got shipped off to Colorado for a few years, came back to the Fishers area. I even lived on the East Coast in Pennsylvania for a few years, and then I made my way back to Marion in 2011. And I started working at the radio station there as the news director for WBAT and all of those stations. And so I have a bit of a radio background, but it's not necessarily like broadcasting your own show. But I don't know. It has helped me become comfortable in front of a microphone, at least, and it led me to start to go to all of those meetings that were happening in Marion. So whether they were city council meetings or county commissioners meetings, I was getting familiar with the projects that were going on and writing about them as news stories, of course. Well, there was an opportunity that came up in 2014. And there was a city, just a general economic development generalist position, and I took on that opportunity. And I'm so glad that I did, because I've been with the city for 10 plus years, and my job has kind of morphed a little bit. I did the basic training to get into community development, and that was through the IEDC and then Ball State Building Better Communities program. And now I am the supervisor now for marketing and community development. And I get to work with you, Deana, and I get to work with an amazing team that some people I've worked with for a very long time because I've worked for 3 mayors now. And so that part can get a little challenging because when leadership changes, it's like everything changes. But there are some things that are steadfast, like you still get to go into City Hall every day. You get to see a lot of familiar faces. And the projects that we're doing now, I am the most excited about of all the time that I've been with the city. I can honestly tell you, as even a former volunteer for Main Street Marion, which is now Historic Marion, I got very involved with a lot of those projects and seeing how the downtown was really not doing much at all. It was kind of dead, really, 10 plus years ago. And I've gotten to see that the area grow, Marion in general grow. Yes, we've had our setbacks, but just working in my role now, I'm very happy, and yes, there are days that I'm overwhelmed, but I know that I'm making a difference. It makes me feel good that there's a big purpose behind it all, and we're all here for each other, because another good thing about working for the city is that you do have so much support from your leaders to your peers, in all facets. So there's always somebody that knows the answer, and you don't really feel like you are on an island, if you will.
That's right, Layla. I have to say that's amazing. First of all, that just gives testament to how things were working out behind the scenes to kind of guide you where you are today.
Yeah.
From day one. And what a blessed time to work for the city. Like, I literally feel blessed to be with the city. This is a great time and a great administration to be working for. There is literally history being made with this administration. So it's just, that's just amazing. I love it.
It feels good to be part of history, that's for sure. Okay, I'm going to take a kind of a fun little break before I get into some more things that I just want to tout that are just kind of day-to-day functions. I'm going to do another fun question for you, Deana.
Yay.
Okay, we're going to do our favorite hobby, and we're going to kind of keep this one a little bit more brief, but just a hobby of yours that is either something that you're passionate about or something that kind of helps you de-stress.
Okay, so I would have to say my number one hobby, I am a crafty girl.
I love that about you.
I love DIYs. If I see something and I think I can make it, I'm going to try to make it.
Yeah. So give me an example of something you've either made or that you're working on right now.
Okay, so I have made so many things, Layla, like from birthday party decorations to wreaths. I have made countless wreaths. I have painted. Currently, so for the longest time, I have been wanting like a beaded curtain for my bedroom window. Like nothing.
That's so fun.
Nothing long, like something kind of short. And in my head, I have it envisioned like strings of glass beads, like connected to like a piece of driftwood.
Oh, cool.
And
mixed media, it sounds like.
Yes, absolutely. So currently I am picking out the glass beads that I'm going to use. Once I get them all collected, I'm going to literally mix them up in a big bowl and just start stringing to the length that I want, just randomly.
Oh, I love it.
And
it's
then
going to be randomly. It's going to be really colorful.
Yes, it'll be very colorful and random. And, it's something that I think I'm going to enjoy doing, whether it's just sitting listening to music or watching TV. And I'm so excited about it.
Oh, that is exciting. It's, having a project, especially during the wintertime, that's perfect.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of, because you are an artist and you say you're crafty, but you are definitely an artist.
Thank you, Layla.
I feel like we have that in common.
We do.
My hobby is music. For those that don't know me, I started out in performance because, of course, I was in like show choir and stuff in both high school and college. I was in the choir, and then so I learned how to play guitar, and so I love to sing and play guitar, and I started writing my own songs, and I've gotten to the point where I am a singer-songwriter by hobby. It's like a serious hobby, and I have recently, like all of 2024, the bulk of that was recording my second full LP album. And it's just, songs about my life, just de-stressing and writing songs about my life and then having them come together professionally. So, and you can actually find all of my songs at LaylaPrice.com. Hope you'll check them out. It'll give you a sense of who I am as an artist and also just as a person, and learn about my journey through listening to my storytelling through music. So it's something I'm excited about, and it is definitely therapeutic. So
definitely check it out. It's worth checking out, guys. It's amazing, and some of you might have gotten to hear some of her vocal stylings at National Night Out this past year.
So yeah, you know what? I don't want to forget that. So yeah, I was able to use that to just entertain people
that was
that
so much
day.
fun.
And
I
obviously
loved that.
My contribution, of course, but yeah, just a way that I can do that. And you actually have a skill that I want our listeners to know about, and it is your being bilingual.
Yes, I am bilingual, so of course I speak English and Spanish.
So that is an asset. It's really a perk to this job because you just never know. You have been very instrumental in helping with things that have to do with, the courts, or just if somebody comes to City Hall and they need help with translation, you are right there, and it has been quite an asset. So.
Yeah, it happens more times than I ever realized before I started with the city.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you've really noticed that skill is very important.
Oh, so important. So important.
Well, so that kind of wraps up my background and my hobby and skills, and some other things that we do on a day-to-day basis, some functions that I perform. I update the website. So we have our website, cityofmarion.in.gov, and I'm in charge of the content creation, imagery. I'm also in charge of the app, the new city app that we have, and that's under our umbrella of city development. And if you don't have the city app yet, you can go to your iPhone or your Android, and you can go to your store, the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, and you can find My Marion app and download it for free. You and I both have it,
yes.
And it's so cool because you can report issues that way. You can get notifications when we send out news releases, when we send out important announcements. You're going to get those notifications if you want to, or you can opt out. So that's another day-to-day function of mine. I manage the main social pages that we have. I manage the branding, so I won't get into that, but you can actually find out more about the city logo and the brand by going to our section of the website. We do Clean City 2.0 merchandise, so we have a merch store for the public, and we definitely encourage you to get your t-shirt if you haven't yet gotten your Clean City 2.0 t-shirt with the white daisy.
They are so pretty.
Yes, just go to badapplegraphics.com and you can find it there. We work with a ton of printers with the city, but this one in particular, they're able to have an indefinite online store for us. There's also hats and some tumblers and water bottles that have that brand for Clean City 2.0. I think that's really cool. The mayor came up with that. And so we are seeing that through. So this is a lot that we are covering today. And I was particularly nervous that we weren't going to be able to cover everything that we do because we do so much.
We do. We do a lot.
with all of that, I'm also community relations in other ways. So I manage Talk of Marion on WBAT, where we have different guests. You'll hear me periodically go on the radio to talk about things with the city on WBAT 105.5 FM. And obviously now this podcast, How Marion Works. So this is a new venture for us, and it's going to be really robust. I hope that you will continue to check us out, listen, and it's going to be a really good thing. It's going to be every other week and released at 5 a.m. every other week. So this is a great way for you to stay connected. And I don't know if I'm forgetting anything, but before I do our wrap up, I just want to ask you if I'm forgetting anything.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that we got it all covered.
Okay.
I'm excited about this, Layla. I'm excited about this podcast. It's just, it's another way to get our community informed about what's going on. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, reaching out in different ways.
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
The podcast is really the new thing. It's a really great thing that we have. You can push pause. You can listen to this whole thing over again if you want to. So absolutely, it's a really great thing. So I'm going to wrap this up. And for Deana Vice, I am Layla Price-Bodkin, and this is How Marion Works. We'll catch you next time. Thank you for listening to the How Marion Works podcast. We hope you'll join us next time.